Parents and teachers and of course the students are preparing to get back to school. This is after the government's pronouncement to reopen schools on the 10th of January next year. There are calls of concern from educationists across the country about the nature of the preparations to help us understand what is at stake and the general mood from the teachers' side and of course the school side as well. We do have the General Secretary of the Uganda National Teachers Union, Mr. FILBERT Baguma. A very good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, today I was listening to a program on radio, getting the perspective from the teachers' side and also the parents. And the general mood was both sides are not ready to get back into the system of, taking students to school and the like. What is the general attitude, general mood from where you sit?
Yeah, obviously it will take some time because we have been away from the teaching learning process for quite some time. And now government has just announced the date. The schools have not yet received the money.
Sure.
The schools are in bushes. Somewhere you find the anthills, built the anthills in the corners. Now, it only demands that we do a lot of actions than words. We need to see this money reach the schools so that the head teachers are enabled now to start on working. Between now and the 10th is a very short time. Right now there are trainings going on, but these trainings are not going to be effective. One, the timing. This is a festive season. The teachers are scattered all over the country. Now you are saying all teachers must go to the school. How will the teacher connect from wherever he or she is to come for the training at school? It becomes difficult. They are also complaining where they were brought together within the region. The transport factor was not considered. You are saying head teachers should facilitate the teachers. Facilitate them using what? In some districts and municipalities, the cows and town clerks had blocked the money. Now, this is a scenario where the money is on bank account blocked. But you are saying the head teacher should facilitate the teachers. So it is like, don't cook it, don't roast it, but I want it ready. And those are the issues that are going to make the reopening somehow not proper because the preparation is not well done.
I mean, this is the longest we've gone with the schools closed. So either way, we really have to get started. Yes. However, how do we start? In the meantime, what is the role of the different stakeholders, the parents themselves, the teachers themselves, the students themselves? In this 2-3 week period, what should we be doing to ready our minds to get back into that?
First of all, we need to mobilize. And the mobilization is for all stakeholders. We need to see the parents mobilizing resources to take back the children. The children need to look at, some of them may not even know where the books are. They may not know where the uniform is, because this is too long a time. And therefore, we need to mobilize them on radios or on TVs, and make sure that we even use churches to make sure that everybody gets into the mood of school reopening. That is the only way we can get prepared. Now, the teachers, we are aware there are teachers who are not going to come back.
True.
But right now, we don't have the figures. So how do we take stock? We need to take stock and know that, yes, out of 10 teachers, only 6 are available. And then look for a mechanism, a quick mechanism of having these teachers replaced. Because after all this period of time without in a school system, and then you reopen and the learners don't have the teacher to attend to them, then it will be making the bad situation worse. So we need to have all these on table and get ready so that when the learners finally come, the school is ready to start on, of course, rehabilitating them and then subsequently teaching. Because we cannot now go to school and all of a sudden we start teaching. You will be wasting your time.
And another issue that keeps on popping up when we start having these conversations, we've had people miss 2 years of class. So when we get back to school on the 10th, I mean, does someone get back to senior 2, or do they get automatically promoted to, say, senior 3? What happens? What are your plans?
Of course, it is a puzzle. One, we have different categories of learners. We have learners who continued to study.
True.
From the day the schools were closed up to today, they have been studying. We have learners who made an attempt to study, either through TVs or through radios, or through print materials, but reached somewhere and got disgusted and stopped. We have those who have never at any one time attempted to study. Now, they are going to come, they are in the same classes. But we are saying to manage this situation, they are going to transit. While they are transiting, they are in those 3 categories. And now we are going to see them have different levels, but somehow we have to manage the situation as teachers because, you know, we don't have candidate classes.
True.
Senior 6 is not there, Senior 4 is not there, P7 is not there. So what do? Let those of Senior 5 go to Senior 6 because there are those who have completed Senior 4. And now when you reach, we shall have remedial for the work that was not covered. Because if you say we are going to have 2 Senior 5s, there are others who will say no. I was in Senior 5. Actually, when you ask the learners now, which class are you in? The learners will tell you, I was in this class. Meaning they are not accepting that they are still in that class after 2 years.
True.
So to manage and have a win-win situation, you allow them to transit. And then you do remedial teaching to make sure that the work that was supposed to be covered is covered, and then you cover the work of that class where they have gone.
Recommendations to the government.
Government should get interested in this. In the whole world, we are on record for closing the schools longer than any other country. And therefore, we need to see actions that are going to help us recover from this long spell when the schools were closed. And that is the most important. Let all stakeholders be involved, be mobilized, so that we move on the same page. Otherwise, we shall get into confusion mixing with the school closures and the longevity of being at home, and we shall miss a lot.
Come 10th January, what are your biggest worries as, of course, we conclude this conversation?
Of course, the biggest worries is, one, the confusion
that is going to happen.
Look at P1. We have P1, which was in P1 in 2020. We have those who made 6 years in 2021. We have those who will be making 6 years in 2022. They are going to come to school, and possibly the school does not have enough infrastructure to accommodate them. Look at that scenario. The school does not have enough teachers to cater for these learners. Look at that scenario. So we are going to see the first week full of scenarios of trying to manage the situation. But government must take keen interest in having temporary measures, short-term and long-term measures, so that we address this kind of situation that is going to affect our learners. The issues of learners, because we have even those who produced They are young mothers, teenage mothers. And there are those who are rejecting them, saying, we cannot allow you. But government is saying, no, give them a second chance. So all these are issues, and we need to take keen interest to make sure that all stakeholders are mobilized and sensitized towards this, so that we see a smooth reopening with clear communication and feedback, so that we don't waste any other time.
Thank you so much, FILBERT Baguma, the Secretary General of UNATU, joining us today to talk about the recent pronouncement by the government that schools would reopen on the 10th of January.